What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the United by Comedy Podcast, episode 1. I'm here with my co-host,
Ace Jackson.
And I'm Connor Williams. And today we're sitting down with Ray Jubela. He's a stand-up comedian straight out of Maryland. You out of Maryland, Ray? Maryland. Right out of Maryland. You guys have seen him perform all across the country, some of the best comedy clubs. He's not, the most well-known name around the DMV, but he's soon to be, because this dude's been freaking doing shows for damn how long? Like 7 years? 7 years? Yeah. Just putting out comedy, putting out shows, putting shows together, doing the damn thing. You know him a lot better than I do, but
we started around the same time, and he's been nothing but loyal and put me on. I put him on, and it's been love since day one. So A1 day one right there.
Yep. Now he's here for the podcast, so we're gonna sit down with him, get into the nitty gritty. Hope you guys enjoy.
You will. Peace.
Fantastic, dude. Ray Jubela, thank you for being here, my man.
Thank you. It's Jubela, but okay.
Jubela. Yeah,
I bet it's even better to have me here now. What's that?
Well,
Jubela.
Yeah, that's awkward.
It's okay. No, it's okay. Everybody fucks up my last name.
It's all good. No, this is my first time actually spending more than 5 minutes with you, at a show or something, but I don't think I've had the honor of introing you at a show. It's usually just typing your name on a flyer. So
did you not intro me? We did that one show in Winchester.
Yeah. I gave Ace the honor of doing that one.
Oh, okay.
Since, you guys are a little closer than you and I. But yeah, I think that's just how I phonetically pronounce it in my head,
it's okay. It's funny because it's actually pronounced Jubela, right? The J is silent.
Yes, more culture.
But ever correct?
No, I don't, because I never used to gentrify it, but now, how can I put this? Everybody who cared is dead. So now I just go by Jubela.
I care.
No, trust me. I used to correct people, but who the hell's going to know that a name that begins with J is silent?
So you're like the comedian Django. Where
yeah. Me and Django are very similar, Ace. We've both, we fight institutional slavery, and
what is that? Jubela, what is that, Nordic?
It's German.
German.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a German name that no one can find in Germany. So
damn.
I have a feeling it's somebody fucked up and went and was trying to escape the German cops, and they were like, let's go to Texas, and
then you go and change it to Jubela.
Well, no, I do gentrify it because it's just easier,
Yeah.
I mean, let's put it this way: you still pronounced it poorly, but yet, so imagine if I was like, no, the J's silent.
Great way to start that.
Exactly, So no, that's okay. I don't really care. I've been called worse.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you the worst intro I ever got. I've talked about this on stage, but the worst intro I ever got was as I heard, Steve Tracy, Beer Run Comedy guys, check it out.
Shout out.
Steve Tracy and our friend Sam Cobb. Yeah. We were doing a show in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, like north of Pittsburgh. One of the worst shows we've ever experienced in our life. And it had the worst host ever. This guy, I don't know where they found this guy. He smelled literally like he had rolled in shit. I'll tell you how bad this show was. When we got there, the other comedians on the show were there having a conversation about having sex with their cousins. I'm not making that up. They were like, yeah, my cousin calls me all the time to have sex, and I say no. But to look at those guys, they're not saying no. Like, those guys were banging their cousins.
That sounds like a show where I'm from.
Yeah, no, it was definitely. But the host, he comes up to me and he goes, how do you pronounce your last name? And I say, Jubela. He's like, all right, man, I got it. And then he goes, wait, one more time. How do you pronounce it? Jubela. He goes, I got it. Wait, one more time. How do you pronounce it? Jubela. And he goes, all right, I got it. And he goes out on stage and he's like, come to stage next. We have Ray the Jew.
No.
Yeah, Ray the Jew, the worst.
He was so confident that he had it.
Oh my God, he thought that was fun, and everybody's like, what? It's like, yeah, Ray the Jew, the worst Sopranos character.
This is why you pick your own host now. I know. I see.
Dude, that is exactly why we're very picky about hosts, dude. Okay, Ace has hosted many of our shows, probably because I know at the very least, he doesn't care what my religion is. So he's not going to equate me to a religion. Ace is never going to call me Ray the Muslim or anything like that, you know? So, but yeah, that's it's hard to find good hosts. It is hard to find good hosts for shows.
Well, we try.
No, you guys are great. You guys are great. But yeah, don't ever go to Newcastle, Pennsylvania. It's not worth it. It's
Noted.
not much of a comedy scene up there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, giving intros is definitely like an acquired kind of skill to do it right. Because I've definitely messed it up for the wrong people a wrong amount of times. So I've given some awkward intros where I'm just like, your next comedian coming to the stage he's funny and he's open for everybody that you've seen. Okay, now clap.
I can tell you, and I won't use the name because you still book him, so I don't. And I like the guy. He's just one of the worst hosts I've ever seen, and it was the first show I ever did of yours at Bad Habits. Mm-hmm. And this guy proceeded to do 20 minutes between each comic. The show went like 9 hours. It just felt like we just would never leave there. And that's but there really is an art to hosting. Like, like you need to know, do your time, get off, keep the show rolling. If people are laughing, don't go up there and talk. Just get the next comic up there. If for whatever reason a comic struggles and the crowd's down, then you do some time to get them back up. But occasionally you get some guys who think they're going to do like 5 sets in one show, and you have to really tell them, hey, no, you did your time. Okay, let's bring up the people that that we advertise for them to come see. But it's some guys are really good at it, and some struggle with it. But you can keep busy if you know how to host.
Yeah,
that's the thing about comedy. If you know how to host, people will keep you busy.
Yeah, no, it's a fun role. I like hopping in between the mix and intro and comics and stuff. But it's funny because like after the shows, I try to like go around and be like, hey, thank you for coming. Hope you had a good time. Blah blah blah. And for some reason, a lot of times people will be like, you're a really good like MC, you should try doing stand up too. And I'm like, yeah.
What the hell do you think I'm trying? That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
It's kind of like a backhanded compliment a little bit, but no, it's nice. I like it.
You also need someone to host that doesn't have an ego, because the job of the host, the MC, is not necessarily to kill. It's kind of get the crowd warmed up a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think they call it a stewed fish, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
when like a hot chick will keep a couple ugly girls around her.
If you think about it, like you're going up to a cold audience.
Right.
So unless someone has warmed them up before the host, which is rare, you're going up before a cold audience, you're trying to get them going. You probably deal with people still sitting down, still getting their drinks, still ordering their food, So, so you do want someone that, can get laughs quickly and can really get the crowd hyped. But you're not, your job is not necessarily to go up there and just destroy the room, although we don't, I've met some guys that are like, the host can't cuss, the host can't talk about this, the host can't do this. Whereas, we tell Ace, go up there and fucking kill it, get up there and get those laughs, because, we want to have fun. We want everybody to have fun. So, but so there's definitely an art to it. Plus you gotta know when to tell people to be quiet, when to do this and that. There really is. Ace, you're a great comedian, but you're also a really good host, it's, I don't know if I was really a very good host. I could do it, but I really haven't done a lot of hosting myself.
Yeah.
I was, but when asked, I'd do it.
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason why I enjoy it, because I got 2 little shitheads at home, so I'm used to just, shut the fuck up, calm down, let's keep this shit at bay kind of deal.
So that's your practice, is tell.
Yeah, shit.
All right, kids, keep the table talk to a minimum, and turn your cell phones off.
Yeah, make sure you tip your
mom.
Tip your mama. But yeah, and then I'm mediocre enough that I can get a couple laughs here and there, but still, obviously the people that are going up on the lineup have definitely had more time in than me. So I kind of fit it well. You know what I mean?
Well, you're lucky in a way though, because like a lot of new comics, because you've been doing it, what, a year now?
Let's see, what's today? February 11th. In like a week, I'll be at my 1 year anniversary.
Happy anniversary,
Thank
man.
you. Thank
That's
you.
a milestone. A lot of people don't make it that long.
I can't.
The
believe
cool
I'm here.
thing about you doing so much hosting is that's valuable experience.
Yeah,
It really is. I mean, that's a lot of really good experience, because it will help you get to, you know, if you want to develop your 5, 7, 10-minute set, that will get you booked if it's good enough. You're getting a lot. That's a lot of prime time to work on new stuff, find your voice, stuff like that. And whereas a lot of newer comics don't get that opportunity, they're working open mics.
Yeah.
You know, at 5 minutes at a time. I'll tell you, I was lucky when I started, because we were just talking about a guy in Rockville, the name of Daryl Klein. Off air, we were talking about. He used to run these shows in Rockville, Maryland. They were terrible.
Shout out to Daryl.
They were terrible. No, you know, let's put it this way. Daryl, I love Daryl to death.
He knows what he was doing. He knows.
Oh, of course.
He knows.
He's not dumb. No, he knows.
Do better.
But he did so. Well, I will say this. He used to do these wrestlers and comedy shows that were fantastic. He would bring in like some retired wrestler, you know, like Teddy Long or something like that, and that would bring in people, and then you could do comedy there. But what it was great about Daryl's shows, and I give him the utmost credit for this, is when I was new at comedy, I was only in a few months, and I got hooked up doing his shows, he'd let me do 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, he'll give you as much time.
Yeah,
as
he
you
didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I did a show, I go, how much time you want me to do? He goes, oh, man, do like 20, 25. I was like, I got 7. He goes, whatever, man, just do whatever. But that really did help me develop longer sets sooner. It's so to the point where, you know, I think I was able to advance a little quicker to showcases than maybe most would, because, you know, when you're doing mics, you're lucky if you're getting 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, you're lucky if you're getting 5 minutes. And I mean, if they get 7, it's like, ooh, that's the greatest thing ever.
How long you been in the game, Ray? Let everybody know.
Dude, I will hit 7 year. I'm probably around 6.5 now.
Okay.
I hit 6 in September. So not even 6.5 yet, but I've been doing it about 6 and 4 months, something like that. I started late. I was 47 when I started.
What made you get into it?
Well, for the first 47 years of my life, I was an incredibly pussy. It's the best way to say it. I didn't have a lot of self-esteem. I didn't believe myself. I always wanted to be a comedian, because my hero was George Carlin.
Ooh, okay.
Legend.
I used to, when I in the 90s, I used to go to the DC Improv all the time. To the point that, a lot of people there knew me, like the manager and that. They always let me in for free. And I saw Dave Chappelle there in like 1992.
Oh, man.
You know, I saw George Wallace, who was amazing. I saw, oh God.
That's a hell of an upbringing.
I mean, some of, well, you know, the funny thing is you see these great comedians on TV, but they're not always great at comedy clubs. Like Margaret Cho, I don't know if you ever heard of. She was a Korean. She was very big in the 90s. She sucked. She was not funny at all. She's famous as hell, and she's a legend, but she was not good. The craziest one, this is true. I forget why I went, but Larry the Cable Guy was headlining.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
This is before the blue collar, or
this was before.
Oh,
This
damn.
he wasn't doing all that get her done shit and all that. Like,
Was he still calling himself Larry
Yes,
the Cable?
yes,
Has
he
he
was-
always been Larry the Cable Guy?
to my
As far as
knowledge,
you know?
his that's not his real name. I think initially he used his real name, but which I forget what it is. It's like Larry something. But he was headlining, and he was in DC. Remember, you know, radio station DC 101.
Yeah.
He used to call into that shit to their shows all the time. So he had a bit of a following in DC, and his feature act that night was a pretty much unknown comic by the name of Jim Gaffigan.
Oh, yes.
And I watched Jim Gaffigan do 20 minutes in front of Larry the Cable Guy and said, this guy sucks. He has no future in comedy. He's never going to go anywhere. And I don't know if you heard, But Jim Gaffigan went somewhere in comedy.
He's doing pretty well, right?
He's kind of famous. Yeah.
I've seen a couple clips on TikTok. That's about it.
He's really a very very rich comic.
You were a little off on that one.
Yeah, I was a little off. I don't know what's worse is I watched that show then I thought Jim Gaffigan was a shitty comedian, or that I paid to go see Larry the Cable Guy. I don't know which is worse, to be honest. One of those is pretty bad. Maybe both. I can go with both. But yeah, I used to go to the Improv and all, and I always wanted to do stand up. Never had the guts to do it. I especially as I got into my 30s, I would think I'm too old. I'm depressed. I'm this and that. I had no self-esteem. And then a funny thing happened when I, like mid-40s, I turned 47, and I just said, I am so tired of being depressed and sad about shit I haven't done in my life. So the DC Improv had their class, which I kind of, Sam Cobb always teases me about that I took a class because, which I get, because like I don't, you guys, you probably just started going to open mics. I didn't have the confidence to do that. I did not. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm just going to go to an open mic. I had to go.
Need a textbook.
Yeah, I needed this class to see if I could do it. And I did really well. And the end of the class, you did a show at the DC Improv, and it went really well, and I was hooked. I was hooked from that moment on.
You were just chasing that.
Yeah, man. It was just, it's like I know why comedians do drugs, because when you have a killer set, man, it is like a high.
You just want to snort a line.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. It really is, and that's how I got started. And at 47, I was still fat. I had bad knees. But I was going out every night. I was hitting every open mic I could, and now 7 years later, and still no one will book me. But
that's not true.
That's not true.
Black and white comedy booked me, but just the rest of the DM. Unfortunately, I don't want to sound bitter here, but the DMV comedy scene has a very strict no fatties rule, and. So I don't think you're going to see me at the DC Improv, or even though they know who I am, they're probably a lot of those, But that's why we decided to DIY that shit.
I'm about to say
start Beer Run Comedy. Yeah,
they let Bert Kreischer pull his tits out.
They do, I made a comment about that on Facebook. It was like, why do they bitch about Natasha Leggero when they let Bert Kreischer show his hairy fucking ass on stage,
Who was mad about Natasha?
There were some people pissed off because, oh my God, she took her shirt off on stage. I'm like, well, you know what? Natasha Leggero is funny as shit.
Yeah, and you don't like tits.
Yeah, I don't know what her tits like. It was all... I had so many people like, I tried to look it up, but it was blurred out. All right, you fucking pervert, all right? That's not what this is about, all right? I'm not, it wasn't like, hey, perverts, give me your opinions, it was just like a random comment. But yeah, going on 7 years, I love it, man.
Fuck yeah.
I love it.
How'd you meet his ass?
I think I got referred to you by... No, you know what? I think it was Carpool.
Carpool, man.
Carpool, yeah. It had to have been. I think somebody told me about his open mic at Carpool. I'm really picky about, especially now, I never used to be, but I'm really picky about open mics now because I don't want to deal with politics or bullshit and all that at open mics. My favorite open mics are the ones where you can just do whatever you want and... you could say whatever you want, within reason. Within reason, obviously.
On Q Sports Bar and Grill, Front Royal.
Yeah.
Every second and fourth Monday.
Dude, I would go to that if it was not 2 hours away from me.
Yeah, it's definitely
me
like
and
a
Sam
little...
Cobb talk about that. I was like, we should go out there. I was like, it's 2 hours away.
I know.
That's a little far for an open mic, but
it was every Monday.
It's fun though. It's fun.
I bet it is. I see the crowds
are getting. It's in like a weird little corner of the. It's kind of like in a little armpit of. Where it's convenient.
Front Royal's nice. It's just,
I love. Not I'm not saying armpit because Front Royal stinks or anything, but
we're in Hagerstown,
I've seen
man.
some hairy stuff there.
This is definitely the armpit where we're currently at. Right?
Yeah.
I have a lot I could say about Hagerstown, but
no, I love Front Royal. So,
but yeah, Front Royal is not even very big difference. But
sign up and say what you want.
But Carpool was one of my favorites because, especially, the pandemic really screwed you over.
Yeah, it fucked me up.
Because that thing, Carpool was this tiny little room that he did in the back, and you had that one mic with that little speaker, but it was really intimate, and everybody had fun there. And you could pretty much joke about anything you wanted, because those is what I like. I go to open mics to work on new material.
Oh yeah, that's what
I don't
it's
go
about.
there to work on my set. I've got that down. I want to work on new material, and sometimes working on new material is just literally throwing shit against the wall and see if it sticks.
Oh yeah.
And probably my two favorite open mics of all time was Carpool, and the one in Columbia, Maryland called Second Chance Saloon. Sadly, neither of them exist anymore, but. And even when we came back to the pandemic, you were getting some, like Tony Wood started coming out to your show out there, and you were getting some good stuff. And then they went out of business, right? Is that what happened?
Yeah, it was an altercation between, I guess, one of the regulars and one of the bartenders, and she sued, and then they shut down. I'm like, how the fuck can I survive COVID? Going on like year 3. It was like year 3 that we was doing showcases there. We started doing showcases there, and then
you actually had me headline one of those, and it got canceled because of the pandemic.
Yeah, and I was like, damn.
Funny thing is, I think he was the last one to cancel. Like,
I was gonna go.
It was holding on for dear life, right?
He was like, unless people are dying there, I'm going to keep this show going. And then the saddest phone call he ever made to me, I had to cancel.
Damn,
they won't
dude.
let me in.
Extra $5 will hit you with a vaccine.
No, Ray's been there for some of the funniest moments. Like there was this one time, because I would let anybody get on stage.
Yes, you would.
And it was this old dude.
My gosh.
He is so old. He got on stage. I knew he was like old and racist because he used the word Negro. No.
It was great because we're like, man, that is really retro racism right there. Like, holy cow.
Fuck the thing. He was trying to talk to my mom at the same.
That was even better. Like he was hitting on Ace's mom. Like he was like, he wanted some chocolate and he wanted it now.
He was like,
I'm with the new. I'm
like,
with the
that's not
new
the pickup
world.
line you want to say to a black woman. I got a boat, and
he literally went up there, did like these racist jokes, and he wouldn't get off. I think you had to literally tell him to get off the stage. And he goes and sits down, and as Ace is getting ready to introduce the next comic, he stands up and goes, "I got one more joke." Like, no.
He probably thought the light was him dying, going to heaven.
And then he hit us with that Negro joke. I'm like,
No.
I got to tell you, this may sound terrible, but nothing's funnier than an old white guy trying to use the N-word.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Nothing's funnier and they don't understand why. Like,
why are you mad?
yeah.
You know what's even funnier? Them not trying to use it. You know what I mean?
Well-
It's just like busting at the seams.
Can I tell you a story? I mentioned Second Chance Saloon. It was in Columbia, Maryland. It was a great mic. It was on a Sunday night, and I enjoyed it too because, I mean, you tell me what you think, but there are some mics. I'm not going to name names or anything, but there's some mics out there where everything is an inside joke.
Because it's all clicky.
It's all clicky, and you get treated almost like an outsider.
Yeah.
And that's why you never felt like that at Carpool, But and Second Chance was the same way.
Who ran that?
So Steve Tracy ran it.
Oh, shut up.
It used to be run by a guy named Taylor Peppers, and then Steve Tracy took it over, and then his friend Stephen Baxley took it over when Steve didn't have time.
Okay.
And Steve Baxley was running it when it closed because literally the business closed down. And the area around it was getting pretty rough too. I mean, you could not. Tim Trueheart used to do a joke that you knew you were in a black neighborhood when you see kids riding their bikes on wheelie everywhere, doing wheelies on their bike everywhere I go. Yeah, that's kind of how it was there. It was just a bunch of kids doing wheelies asking for loose change, But again, I loved it, man. You could go there and say anything. And there's a guy that used to go there. His name is Salim. I don't know if you ever met Salim, but Salim is one of the funniest guys I've ever met. But he's perpetually high. So he doesn't remember what he says. But he's so damn funny. Like, I would book him for any shows if he could remember his set. That's how funny he is. And even then, when he doesn't remember, he goes on stage and he'll talk to one person the entire time. It'll be the funniest thing you've ever heard. Shout out to Celine. But we were there one night, and there was this old white man went on stage, and he didn't have jokes. It was like he was trying to do a history lesson, right? And he was talking, and he decided to talk about race relations.
Oh, that's good topic.
And he's just
now.
going on, and then he says, and relax the world, I'm not going to say the word, but he goes, and of course they called him N-words, but he said the actual word, hard ER, right? But very casual, right? Salim's the only black guy in the room. So of course everybody else looks at Salim, and he just has this look like, what? like
did
this,
it just happen?
like he didn't understand what just happened here. So then, okay, well, you know, and again, Salim is a very laid back guy, so he keeps going.
Just kind of let it sink into the room.
And no one's laughing because he's not saying anything funny. The guy on stage, but then the old man does it again, and he says, and of course they called him N-words. And immediately everybody looked at Salim.
Oh no.
And Salim busts out laughing. Like, just loses just laughing. And when he started laughing, we all started laughing. People are literally crying. We're laughing so hard. And this old man watched us break out laughing and said something I have never heard at an open mic, a showcase, a headline set. He said, "Why are you all laughing?"
Oh no. Oh no.
Which is a weird thing to ask when you're doing stand-up comedy. Like if they're laughing, don't ask them why.
You guys actually like my N-bombs?
Like, what? Why are you laughing? I said the N-word twice.
It's a good crowd.
We never saw that old man again. I think I don't know whatever happened to him. He probably died. But
Probably.
I assume. But yeah. So I love but I love that. I love open mics that are like that. They're just like, do whatever you want. You know what?
We've had a couple loose cannons at ours.
You know what? As long as they're not hurting anybody, as long as they're not trying to offend people. I mean,
it's not with the offending. It's about you know how you've been in. You know people are creeps and
It's wild. It's
creeps at an open mic. No,
it's not,
you do get the crazies. I once saw a guy walk in with like crutches, and then they called his name, and he dropped the crutches and normally walked to the stage, did his set, and then went back and then used the crutches to leave. Why did he need the crutches? Yeah.
And then went out front and started panhandling.
No, probably. I don't know what his deal was, but he just that or I did one in Ocean City, Maryland.
Oh shit!
And this guy walked on stage with a banjo, but he never played the banjo. And then at the end, he legit handed out his manifesto. And it was like one of these anti-government kind of thing. But he didn't even do it on a computer. He literally typed it out on cardstock. You know why? Because that's how the government gets you.
Yeah.
You can't use computers because that's how the government... Randy was his name.
Oh, I thought it was Charles.
No, it was Randy.
How many states have you performed in?
Oh, God.
You know you've made it when you go, oh, God, when somebody asks that question.
Well, I mean, I'll count them off. Vermont, New York, Delaware, New Jersey, Ohio, Michigan, West Virginia, Kentucky, Maryland, of course, Virginia, D.C., North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Indiana.
I forgot about Indiana.
And Texas. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Wait, what did you forget about?
Indiana.
Yeah, well, a lot of people forget about Indiana.
Yeah,
They're like,
I'd
oh,
forget.
that's right. That place does exist.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd definitely leave that one off the map.
Yeah, it wasn't anything special. I mean, everything has their pluses and minuses.
What about Kentucky? How was that? That seems an interesting place to do comedy.
We so about 3 years ago, it was Sam Cobb, Steve Tracy, and Brandon Fusen. He goes by Darnell now, but it was Darnell Fusen. He does a lot of stuff at Church of Satire. Yeah. And we went on a 10-day trip playing 8 venues, 8 different places over 10 days. And we did a show at a place called Austin City Saloon in Corbin, Kentucky. Famous for that's where KFC came from.
Oh, hell yeah.
They were like, you should visit the first KFC of all time. And we're like, nah, it's pass. Not that interesting. But we did a show there, man. They treated us like kings, dude. But we've also done some shows in Louisville and stuff like that. It was really cool. We were supposed to do Beer Run. We were supposed to do 3 shows in Louisville last year. And we had to cancel all 3 because a week before the show, Steve Tracy got the flu. Sam Cobb's father passed away, and I ended up in the hospital.
Not a good
no.
not a good run.
I had to call all 3 of those the venues and say, hey, why we're not going to make it. And
They probably thought you were bullshitting.
No. One dude was like, man, God does not want you guys to come to Kentucky.
Yeah, we're changing our name from Beer Run Comedy to Bad Run Comedy.
Yeah, that's a sign right there. Like when all 3 of you are going through hell. Luckily, I was able to find them replacement comics, so they still have the shows. But it was a shame we had to cancel. Well, I'm not trying to screw anybody.
Yeah,
over,
that's
but,
the move.
Yeah,
and y'all powered through it.
If you treat people well, they'll treat you well. That's kind of the way it is with shows.
It seems like a pretty easy philosophy to live by. But
people do though.
It's amazing how many people. Well, it's amazing how many people want to just burn bridges.
Yeah.
There's a very prominent producer. I've never worked with him, but who does a lot of like breweries and vineyards and stuff like that, and has that reputation. Like he'll burn a bridge over like $10.
We've had a couple of those.
Yeah, I mean, we had a venue that didn't pay us initially, and they paid us like 5 months later. But I didn't burn that venue. Whether we take a booking from them or not, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But you don't burn it. You don't just say, "Hey, fuck you guys." No. I mean, this past weekend in New York, unfortunately, we had a show fall through, and and the venue kind of didn't do necessarily what we wanted them to do, or what we asked them to do. But you know what? And yeah, it sucked because we drove up there and really didn't have a show. But you know what? Shit happens, and you come back, and hopefully your next one is great. And we did. Last night we did Firm Brewing in Gambrels, Maryland. Shout out to Firm, treated us great, and we had a great show. So it's the nature of this business. You're gonna. It's not always gonna be great, but I think. You've been on several shows. I think we've done pretty well. Our shows are pretty well.
I love getting them heads up. You free? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, we did that show a few weeks back, actually in December, at Strange Ways Brewing in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest.
We had over 200 people there.
Shit!
It was mad dope.
And to the point, like, they wanted us to come back, and we're back there in April.
April, yeah.
And we did that show for free. We're like, they pay us a booking fee, and then we ask for tips. This time, it's a ticketed show. And we're already selling tickets for that. So, dude, you go into a place, you do it right, and I think you two can relate to this too. Is like also you got to find comics that are going to respect the audience, respect.
Oh yeah.
And those are the ones you bring it. The ones that are going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Because we've all had situations where, guys. I mean, we've seen guys too drunk to go up on stage and shit on the audience and stuff like that. They don't. Yeah, you can't do that. I mean,
most people aren't into that. Getting shit on.
Or even worse, sometimes I think is when they shit on other comics. That's the worst. There's one in particular, like I know you always have to deal with, and that I don't think you booked that person anymore.
No.
I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So. I'll type it. I'm gonna type it out. I'm gonna type it out. And see. I want to see how matched Ace and I really are. So give me 1 second here. Talk amongst yourself. No. Hold on.
But nah, we be Connor and I. We've been having like he said earlier. Our hitting average is still high, but it's just crazy how some people are. Yeah,
you've just been sold out.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that name.
No,
yeah.
I got like 3 stories about that one. Oh, man,
does that person even still exist?
I don't know, man. Quick, so it was me. Yeah, I think I had Ray on the show, and there's nothing worse then when somebody doesn't like he said, they don't respect the other comedians. Like I understand if you're gonna talk or something, you take that outside of blah 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 blah. But we had a good show, we had a good turnout, and they were just mad overstepping boundaries. Even trying to go up and host and bring up other comedians, and it's trying to take the host's job.
Yeah.
Then that didn't work. So then they jumped and took over from the DJ because we had a DJ out there and was just talking and like trying to give like extra.
Yeah, literally talking. I mean, she was. I said she.
Narrowing it down here. We're narrowing it down.
Actually, I think it might be closer.
The thing.
That was mean. There's nothing worse when a comedian is heckling another comedian. Like, we have to deal with that shit with the audience. We don't have time to deal with you. And
then they took it to social media. They upped it up a notch and took it to social media after and was like, everybody told me I was the funniest comedian tonight. I killed everybody. I destroyed. I'm like, we all know who you was on the show with, so now you're just shitting on, like, everybody. It's like, oh, I should have been the headline. I'm like, come on.
Do you remember like, this person was supposed to go first? And threw a fit.
Threw a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old.
I don't want to go first. I don't.
I was like, yo, oh my God.
I've seen that so many times. It drives me nuts when I see comedians do that. Like, they get their position and they're like, oh, I don't want to go there. I'm like, go up when you're told to go up.
They ain't even have no foot in the game to really do that. It's like, okay, you had like maybe 1 or 2 good sets. All right.
Dude, I'm just honored. Like, it's like I said when I started freaking stand-up. Like, I would be honored if somebody paid me in gummy worms to do a show. You know what I mean? I don't even like gummy worms. They're fucking disgusting.
Dude, the first time I got paid
humility.
$10, and I was thrilled.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, my God, yes. You know?
The first time I got paid, I did that like, it was like the Breakfast Club, you know, where the kid jumps up.
Yeah.
He's on the football field.
Dude, first time I got paid, John Yeager was hosting a paid open mic night in Arlington, I think it was.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, a paid open mic night. What the heck? That seems pretty legit. So I went down there, met John, whatever, did some time. This was like, probably March of last year, so real early days. And after the show, he asked me for my Venmo, sent me over $7.75. Dude, I was ecstatic.
You did an instant transfer at $5.
Oh, dude, I printed out the transfer receipt and put it on my wall. People like, their first dollar, they put it up on the wall. Oh, dude, I was ecstatic,
no, it's exciting. It really is. I mean, it's crazy to think, but it's exciting when you first, because, I mean, they say it all the time, but in comedy, like even now, I feel blessed to say this. So like the shows we're doing, we're making decent money. We've still paid way more than what we're like. We're not even close to breaking even.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's why if you're gonna do comedy, you have to love it because you're not gonna. I mean, everybody sees Kevin Hart. Yeah, Kevin Hart probably spent 10 years not making a dime before he broke in. Every comic goes through it, and it's. But you just have to do it till you love it. I mean, that's really it.
It's definitely not a career path or a career choice.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, it's not. But
it can go there. It can go there.
And the love and the connections and stuff and traveling. So you've been in it for like 6.5, 7 years. Mm-hmm. When did you start Beer Run and like what? Well, we already know semi why you did it because you like I'm not gonna wait for my opportunity. I'm gonna create my own lane. So how long has Beer Run?
And I like beer. So how do I make these things?
Yeah, I don't drink as much beer. See, Tracy's the beer connoisseur. I love beer, but I don't drink as much. It's tough because I'm 53. Mentally, I don't feel 53. Physically, I feel 103. But mentally, I don't feel 53. So, but like Steve's in his 30s and Sam is still in his 20s. So, but And I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound really arrogant, and I apologize because I'm not an arrogant person. I have very low self-esteem, so it takes a lot for me to say something like this. I truly believe in my heart I'm one of the best comics in the DMV.
I can attest to that.
I truly feel I am
on the floors.
Thank you, and I do, and I don't take that for granted. I appreciate that. I appreciate people who come to me.
Yes.
I have been lied to by so many promoters. I have talked to Antoine over at the DC Improv many times. He knows who I am. And,
Come on, Antoine.
No, listen, he's.
Was it Antoine, or did I fuck his name up too?
No,
Antoine?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say his last name. Although if everybody does,
Get your boy.
I'm not
Ray
saying
out.
anything bad at Antoine. He got pissed at me one time because the last thing I did for the improv was during the pandemic. I did their you know how they do their open mic, but it's really a book show. But they were doing over Zoom. They did put me one of those, and I have a joke. I don't want to give away the joke, but you've seen it. It's talk about the movie Roadhouse.
Yeah.
And if you know, at the end, I bring up the owner of the whatever. So I used Antoine.
You got mad about that?
He got mad that because at the end I say something similar like, "Hey, I used to fuck guys like you in prison." He didn't like that. He made some whether he was pissed about it, I don't know, but he basically made some comment like that. I got the impression he did not like it. But you know what? It got huge laughs. I got huge laughs on that Zoom mic, which if you've ever done a Zoom show, is really difficult to do.
That sounds terrifying.
Oh, Zoom shows are the worst. They're the worst.
They were
awful.
the worst.
They
They're
were
a thing of the past.
Some people are still doing them, which
I know.
is just like you just
Shut it
quit.
down.
Just quit. If
Shut
you're that
it
lazy,
down.
you don't want to leave the house. Just quit. Seriously, just quit. But I mean, and every time I used to talk to them about it was just send a video. Just send a video. I would send video and then send a video. And so I got to the point like I'm just being blown off. I'm just going to stop.
Yeah.
And I do.
Onward.
It's funny because there's somebody who is a regular for the improv is willing to vouch for me, and they said, "Hey, send in a video." I haven't done it, not because I don't trust them. I don't trust the DC Improv, and it frustrates me because I love the DC Improv. I told you I used to go there for years. I essentially got my start there, but
Just send them a real dirty video of yourself.
maybe just
next
me
time.
just going "fuck you all."
Well, I was thinking more sexual, but same thing.
You know
same
what?
difference.
I don't give those away.
Just like
Connor, I don't give that away for
He
free.
says
All right?
send videos. He keeps asking for videos. Maybe you're sending the wrong kind
Connor,
of video.
I'm a high-priced whore.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Make sure you subscribe to
yeah,
the OnlyFans.
They pay
run
me to put my
comedy on
clothes back on. But these man, I don't know what it is. DMV, I see people booked for reasons other than they're funny. Yeah. And it's frustrating. It really is.
It is frustrating.
And that's why I said I think there's a very strict no fatties rule because you don't. We laugh, but you know what? Do you see anybody on those stages who looks like me? Do you see any bigger guys like me? Do you see any older guys like me? No, you don't. They if you're not younger and you're not a hot girl or you're not selling really great drugs, And maybe and people are going, he's delusional. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, I get it. I get why they would feel that way, but I mean, maybe they should understand why I feel the way I do.
The scene is clicky. Like,
Yeah, it's very clicky, and it's all about kissing ass, and it's a shame because you might say, why am I coming to that opinion? Because I spent real time in Austin, Texas.
Yeah,
I had no problem getting booked. And I don't mean this like in little showcases. I got booked at the Creek in the Cave. I got booked at Hyannis Comedy Club in Fort Worth. I got booked at the Addison Improv in Dallas. I mean, there were clubs willing to put me on their stage.
No doubt.
So I must be doing something right, especially when I'm getting booked in what is arguably one of the hottest comedy markets right now. Yeah. And then I come back here, and it's, so... It started there. It started with that frustration. And I feel the same way about Sam Cobb, and I feel the same way about Steve Tracy. Sam has a very unusual style. And by the way, old white women love Sam Cobb.
Oh, yeah.
I've
seen it happen.
He is
time
a sexy
after time.
Gary Coleman to them. They come up to him. They love.
I ain't saying that shit, Sam.
Like I'll tell you what. Even my mom, the first time she met Sam, he's so cute. It's like, oh, he's all yours, Mom.
I'm not booking him on any shows in Martinsburg.
Oh no, my God!
Yeah,
they
Mom,
love him.
Sam Cobb.
Yeah,
He's
giving that strawberry candy.
but people love him. And that
Yeah, he's
really
great.
works. And then you got Steve Tracy, who's one of the best comedy writers I know. I mean, his jokes, and some of them are pretty existential, so sometimes it doesn't hit right away. But man, when they hit, it is people just like, oh my God, that's brilliant, So we're three guys who get no love in DC, get no love in Baltimore. producers, I mean, some of the things I've heard from producers, my favorite one is, I'm booked till April. Well, okay, it's April 15th. How about after April, you know? Or the worst one I've ever heard, and I've heard it 4 or 5 times, is, I want to vet the show to pick the right show for you. Like, what are you talking about? You know, a good show for me, one with an audience. That's all I need. You just give me an audience, you know? And that's why we started Beer Run Comedy, because got started out of frustration.
How many years y'all been doing it?
About a year and a half now, a little over a year and a half. Yeah,
and y'all been killing it, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities that y'all.
Well, we started locally, and over time we've been branching out, and you know, this year we're going to be traveling. I mean, we got shows coming up in Connecticut, North Carolina again, obviously Southern Virginia, New York again. We're working on a run of Texas this fall. So we're trying to get out there, because I told them, like, hey, if we want to play these places, we should stop waiting on them to, you know,
find you, basically.
Yeah. I mean, because they're not going to. They're not looking for us.
Right.
You know, they want to book their friends, which is, I mean, okay, that's fine. I mean, technically, that's what we do. You know, I mean, the difference is, although we are getting ready to start some showcases, we have a venue in Maryland that wants us to do a monthly show. So we might start doing some of those. But, you know, and he's like, oh, you're just going to book your friends? No, we're going to book really good comics. I mean, he's on. You're going to be on the first one in April doing a long set. And that's going to be a killer lineup, by the way. Yeah. I'll tell you about it after the show, because I'm not ready to announce it yet. But I got some good comics on that show, including you. And we, you know, so we decided we're just going to do our own thing and build on that. And it's been really working well for us. And also, I mean, here's the funny part, and kind of a little secret a lot of people don't realize. These so-called popular shows in D.C. and Baltimore, they really don't pay that great. I mean, if you're making $20-$30, I mean, D.C. Improv doesn't pay. If you're hosting a show, they're not paying you hundreds of bucks. They're paying you $50. Yeah. You know? If you do one of their showcases, I mean, maybe they're giving you $50 to $75. You know? They're not paying you hundreds of dollars. We were making more money on these shows than we would doing those other shows, you know? We're also doing a lot more work, you know, between, you know, booking it, promoting it, building flyers. I mean, you guys produce shows, you know what that takes.
And that's similar. We pretty much build our motto after that too. You know, we're not going to wait for anybody.
Yeah. I mean, what we're doing is not any different than what the two of you are doing. Yeah. The only difference is we're kind of, you know, like I once had someone like, oh, you know, I don't work with agents. I'm like, I'm not an agent. We're booking ourselves, you know, not looking, you know. Which I get. A lot of people don't want to work with agents because they take a cut of the comics. Personally, if I had someone who would book our shows for us, then I would gladly give them 10%. But you know, we're not at that stage yet. But you know what? You start off in breweries. Then eventually you start working bigger places. Maybe you work up to small theaters. And eventually, you know, you can be a trio that could play comedy clubs. You know, there used to be a group, and Mo Amer was part of it. It was like Muslim comedy or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And those guys did that for a couple of years as a trio, and now they're all headliners, you know. And hopefully, knock on wood, that's what will happen for the three of us. I mean, at the very least, Steve and Sam. I mean, I think my age is probably going to be held against me, but
I know what we need to do.
I can dye my hair all I want. I'm still going to be in my 50s, but this, you know what? It's at least we're taking our destiny in our own hands, and we're not waiting for someone to recognize that, or you know, who would rather, you know, book someone who's not as funny.
And that's some gangster shit. And also you're humble. Like some people, no.
Well, someone who just heard that probably not going to say it, but I appreciate that.
I know you. And So, and like, you're willing.
They don't see how I sweat over everything.
You're willing to headline a show, put somebody else on, work with others, you know, like there's enough room for everybody to eat. And because you could easily be like, no, I don't want to fuck with black and white because, you know, You know, but
No.
you show love, and
No,
that's been like that
because-
since day one.
because-
It's a community.
Yeah.
That's why we called the damn podcast United by Comedy.
Let me tell you something about headlining, okay? Because, and I like I'm headlining you guys' show this coming Friday.
Friday, February
Hog Shack
16th.
Barbecue,
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
great lineup. And I appreciate you guys are calling me a headliner, but there's really what I'm doing is closing the show. That's what I'm doing, because headliners, to be a headliner, that means people are coming to see you.
Yeah.
My
you know?
mama's coming to see you.
Well, that's because,
my mama's favorite comedian.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
a
yeah?
fucking son. She loves her.
Yeah.
She loves her some Ray.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck?
I
More
I
than
could
Sam.
have him calling me daddy if I
Fuck.
wanted to. Yeah, I could be. That's my son, Ace.
He probably, after that old man dropped the N-bomb a couple times and then tried to hit on your mom, he probably scooped in there all heroic and shit.
Yeah,
was
after
like,
that,
I
I'm a
got you,
catch.
right?
Okay, after that, she's like, if
He
it
saw
gets
a
me this
prime
old man
opportunity.
away from me, yeah.
Shame on you, Ray.
But you know, and I know you're going to have a great crowd there at Hog Shack, but I mean, they're not necessarily coming to see me. They're coming to see comedy, and I respect that. Like, I'm not going to sit there and act like, you know, I'm above everybody. I'm a headliner.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a headliner. But someone asked me that once. They're like, "What's it like being a headliner?" I was like, "Well, I'll tell you if I ever become one." You know, because a headliner is they're building the show around you. You know,
Yeah.
but it's an honor. It's an honor, and I've headlined some smaller comedy clubs, which is great.
It's
you know,
it's because we see you as hell. We know that you're
I know,
you're
I know,
gonna,
and I appreciate, like I said, I
get
appreciate,
home.
it, but I'm not gonna walk in like, okay, where's my green room? I asked for no pink, no yellow M&Ms in my bowl here. Come on, you know.
No green M&Ms. Start slapping.
Do you know who I am, sir? You
This
know?
refrigerator is at 35
The J
degrees.
is silent, guys.
Get it right, Mr. Williams.
Wouldn't even call me Mister. Peasant Williams.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yeah.
So you meet my son. Is we were doing that show at Beer Hound.
Oh yeah.
In Culper, Virginia. It turned out to be a great show.
Great fucking show.
My man here picked up some hotties. They were cute. I had to give him props. But Sam, Steve, and I, for like a week prior, had this long ass conversation trying to figure out how old Ace was.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell.
I won't. I won't.
It could be like somewhere between 20 and
Oh
40.
my god, yeah, he could be like 20 or 60. We didn't know. Like, I thought, okay, let's put it this way, we were all off. Like, I mean, I think Sam was like, man, I think he's in his 40s. I'm like, come on, no, he's not in his 40s. There can't be.
He seems so wise, though.
He's like, black don't crack. I'm like, yeah, but I don't think he's reached that point. You know?
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's because of the way I dress, the way I act is in there. You got to figure it out.
I mean, I kind of get that too, because like I dye my beard and people are like, "Oh, do you dye?" Yeah, look, I'm in my 50s. Of course I dye my hair. I don't need to be going on stage looking like Santa Claus, man. That's not a good look, you know.
Would you hit that just for men? Or you get like that?
No, I use Clairol.
Oh, is that
Clairol medium brown. Thank you. I do my beard.
He's shooting for a sponsorship.
No, I do my beard, and here I'll take my hat off.
That silver fox.
Yeah,
look.
I got some sort only because I'm way too lazy to dye all of this. That's why I wear hats all the time. Like,
Yeah.
as long as the tips look dyed, you know. Up here, it's just like so that.
Frost the tips.
Yeah, basically, I went blonde one time in my younger years, and that was
Get the fuck out.
Oh my god, it was funny because I used to keep my hair really short then, so I basically just I forget why I lost a bet or something, and but I let my hair grow a little bit, so I looked like I had frosted tips. And I have never gotten more compliments on my hair.
Oh no!
I mean, this is mid 2000s. You know that was like I mean, if I wasn't so fat, I could have worn like the tank top and the puka shells, and people were like, oh my god, he is so Florida. But yeah, no, that was an interesting period. But I mainly let my hair grow because I'm just way too lazy to cut it. Plus, I don't like going to barbers. I don't know why. Like,
See, that's the only reason why I get my hair cut. I feel like is like I like that little 20 minutes or whatever, just getting out, getting somebody.
What barbershop do you what race barbershop do you go to?
So right now, my barber now because she comes to the shows.
Yeah, what up, D?
But I found the best race barbers are the Vietnamese folks. Yeah, they crush it.
Not for me.
Well, I've never had a black dude's hair. So with my hair,
you get the Travis Kelce, get the little fade and shit.
Shit. But yeah, I found Viets and
spoken like somebody from the military.
I can't shorten it.
No.
Well, this is it. I cut my own, so I either let it grow or I cut it all off.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
But now I found a fantastic white lady who does it, and
yeah, she's cool.
No,
I just haven't gone because
I mentioned that. Like well, I mentioned that we went on that long run, and in that trip, Sam Cobb spent a long time trying to find a black barber in South Carolina.
I thought that would be easy.
No, he's picky as hell. Like he just told me this. He might kill me for telling you this, but he lives in Damascus, Maryland, and he went to a local barbershop, and it was all white guys in there, and they go look at him and go, we don't know how to cut black hair.
At least they were honest.
Yeah. Because they're probably right. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because I watched something recently where. I think it was some profile of like football players or something, and they're the barber, and man, black barbers, they measure that shit out like it is. Like, they're out there like micro thing, doing that thing, trying to make all that.
Yeah.
So
protractor. That's what I was trying to think of.
Because I can imagine because it's probably very hard to cover up a mistake.
Yeah.
Other with a hat, like our hair, like you can miscut something. Who cares? But like
if your shit is messed up and then you can tell because they don't want to give you the little mirror to look.
Yeah.
Do you remember the big dog? You're all set.
Do you remember the movie Barbershop?
Yeah.
Where that guy cut that patch out of that kid's head, and he's like trying to take that pick and bring it back over, and his mom's like, "Don't you worry about it. We'll get this for free. You look like a leopard. You're fine." The only thing great I can say about my hair is that at my age, it's nice to know that I can grow a real luscious head of hair. Like my hair grows. Like which is funny because last time I got let along, someone was like, "Hey, I said I was going to cut it," and they go, "Oh, you know what? You should wait, get it a certain length, and then cut it off and donate it to Locks of Love." Which is that.
Oh yeah,
they take long hair and then you cut it off and they donate it and they turn it into wigs for kids. Because there's nothing more a cancer kid wants than a 53-year-old man's hair. Like that's what you want.
Do that.
What?
Give some kid a little afro.
You think they're just gonna set it on top of his head like a crown?
You're gonna have a tough time getting
a little white kid.
You're gonna have a tough time getting that bucket hat on with that afro, man.
My shit grows when I.
Didn't you used to have dreads?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cut them all off. Yeah.
Sam's doing dreads now.
Yeah. I see.
I think dreads are cool. The only dreads I was like, Sam and I talk about this all the time is like the Haitian ones. Because they just look gunked up and, But
I call them the Florida dreads, where it's just like 6 big ass locks, like Jay-Z. Like
I saw Jay-Z's wearing dreads now. He looks terrible. He does like Beyonce. You need to talk to him. Like,
when you make that much money, you can do whatever.
You are a father now, sir.
I think if you got Beyonce locked down, you can pretty much you can kind of test some hairstyles.
Well, you won't have Beyonce much longer if you start going out like, oh God, I don't know. They just don't. I just don't think those dreads look good. But I mean, what do I know?
Do you think Ray could rock a proper set of dreads, Ace?
I could rock anything, Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it.
Maybe.
He's like, let me interject real quick.
Maybe I don't know.
Yes.
Actually, I think white guys with dreads is just awful. Like
again, that's some Florida shit.
Yeah, that's some real Florida shit. Like, there used to be a I'm gonna date you guys. This is probably before you guys were born, but there was a
I'm not gonna confirm.
There was yeah, I know how old you are. I'm pretty sure. Well, no, okay, no, you were probably a youngin. there used to be a rap group called Young Black Thugs. And
Creative name.
Yeah, well, they were all white, and
Well, even more
they
creative.
all sported those big haze. And if you've ever seen the movie House Party 2,
Yeah, of course.
okay, remember his white roommate?
Yeah.
That guy was in that band.
Oh shit! That
Yeah. Their famous hit was called "Tap the Bottle." Yeah. Oh, I actually have it on here. Okay, hold on a second. I'll play
Are we
it
allowed
for
to play that?
I'm probably not. So
I don't
won't
think
do
we're
it.
cool enough to like not be able to play
It's
stuff.
okay because that song is not cool.
Oh, well, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, so it's not cool at all. But man, no, I let my hair grow simply because I'm just too lazy to cut it. And I'm too lazy to. But the beard, I try and keep somewhat neat. I can. Like if it gets too long, I don't like that shit gets in your mouth.
Oh, yeah. You gotta maintain some sense of a proper
Yeah,
gentleman.
because like you got some good like stubble going there, like that. I like that kind of beard, but it doesn't look good on me, so I have to let it out a little bit. But
Yeah, I like to say my beard transitions into a mustache. You know what I mean? Facial hair fluid.
I wish I could get away. I wish I could get away with no mustache, but because the worst is when
Oh,
the
everything else, and then just like bare hair.
I wish, but because mustache
Creative.
goes over your lips, and I hate that. I hate that like you're trying to eat and also mustaches can get creepy. Like you guys know Vince McMahon?
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I don't think the
We're not-
mustache is the creepiest thing about him right
should
now.
know.
No, but you know
somebody's
what? if you get accused of sexual misconduct and then you grow that mustache, that is not a good
He was
idea.
trying to change his identity. He's like, no,
Right.
no.
Yeah, by making him look even worse. Like that's like saying I did it. Like that's all that mustache.
That's like that old guy saying the N word twice. He's just like, you know what? I'm doubling down. Fuck it.
Man, like how rich do you have? I mean, it just goes. You can get away with so much when you're rich.
For so long,
Yeah, but
till shit hits the.
But you know what? You know
face.
what? There's all these movies out there, like Citizen Kane and all these movies about guys who became rich and then lose it all in the end, right? And it's like, oh, it's a cautionary tale. But you know what they don't spend enough time doing? Talk about how awesome it was when they were rich.
Wolf of Wall Street did a good job of that.
No, yeah, but Wolf of Wall Street, that movie could have ended right at the end of the plane orgy.
Yeah.
Because I didn't need to know about him going to jail. I had questions about
Right.
that plane orgy.
And he's still having fun. He's still
Like,
he's
yeah.
still living his
He's
best life.
right. He's still doing a lot
That's
better
what I'm
than
like.
most.
But the plane orgy, I mean, do you have to charter a flight? Can you fly commercial and do that?
That's how Ray's gonna know he made it when he has a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are invited, okay? When I reach the point of fame,
He's gonna have silver hair down to his
yeah,
ass.
absolutely.
Big old beard.
That's when I won't care. I'll be like, if I have that kind of money, I'm like if I win the lottery, fuck everything. I'm just
Plain orgy.
Full
Yo, that's a
Daniels
rap.
area.
That's gonna be a rap bar. Plain orgy.
Plain orgy, yes. Just everybody get on the plane and ugly hairy guys like that scene with that hairy guy just walking down in his little tighty whitey underwear, which is just disturbing. But yeah, like I have more questions about that than how he got arrested. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Just all these movies where it's like, hey, I became really rich and then I had a downfall. Nah, cut out the downfall. Let's just focus on the really fun and rich part. That's it. That's all I want to know about.
All right, we're gonna gotta wrap things up. All right, so Ray, if there
Yeah.
was one word of advice that you could give to anybody up and coming that want to pursue comedy or any type of advice, what would that be?
Right? Don't worry, write, but don't worry about new material. Build up your 5-minute set and get to the point where you can do that 5-minute set forwards and backwards without any thought. Because if you have a good 5 minutes, you can get booked with that. You won't be, probably big money or anything like that, but it'll at least start you get bookings. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to have that back pocket set. Like case in point, I have a lot of material and I try and use it different places, but when I'm when I'm at a point where I'm like struggling or like whatever, I know I have my base set. Like case in point, Ace knows this, but I went through some ailments last year. I got diagnosed with anemia, and I had a really bad episode over the fall. I mean, you saw me
Yeah,
at that
'cause we
one
had-
show,
yeah,
where I was just dying. You know, if you don't know what anemia is, you suffer from a severe iron deficiency, and it just saps you. Like you have trouble talking, you have trouble remembering things.
Somebody hit him with a frying pan.
Yeah, man, it was rough. It was really rough.
Iron joke.
But I would have taken it because I could have used them. But the only thing that got me through was I knew I had that set in my back pocket, and I could do it. Even though I didn't do it particularly well, I could do it. So stop, quit thinking after 2 weeks you need all new material. Focus on your base set, and then worry about new material.
Yeah.
That would be the best advice I give.
Don't overthink it and have
Don't
fun
overthink
with
it. Just have fun with it.
Fuck yeah. Well, this was a blast, dude. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you
my
for
man.
having me. What's the name of this podcast?
United by Comedy.
This is United by Comedy podcast.
United by Comedy.
You have been united by
You
comedy.
you guys are great. Thank you so much for having me. I really
Appreciate you,
appreciate
dude.
it.
You're the man.
And looking forward to the show this Friday.
Yeah, come see Ray Jubela
Yeah.
along with Aaron Coyne.
Jubela.
Dude.
The J is silent.
I'm gonna have to start charging extra.
This is Connor Williams.
Yeah.
Connor Williams. My name's Ace Jackson. Black and White Comedy. Thank y'all. Follow all that other good stuff. Thank y'all. One love.
Peace out.